For the session of the 17th of May 2021, Ascent Solar closed up 14.35% at $0.0263 and $59 million shares crossed the tape during that session. We have a position in Ascent Solar, so it's important that we indicate that. Market cap of $482.5 million, 18.346 billion shares outstanding. And the news out there is that they will now be able to file their, or rather disclose their quarterly report that for the quarter that ended 31st of March 2021. And there's also another piece of news here. It says they have delivered, or rather it has completed a major delivery for its hyperlight thin film modules for high altitude airships. The line of products reduces the packaging and photovoltaic module mass, giving it a best-in-class power to weight ratio of over 350 watts per kilogram, amongst other things. So I believe they didn't disclose exactly who the customer is, but we also know that they have a contract with NASA. So moving on, we can see some of the oscillators are looking up. The RSI is looking up, relative strength index. Price rate of change is also looking up, even though it's still below zero. The unbalanced volume indicator, okay, we don't exactly know whether the slope is negative or positive. And I also think the MACD histogram is probably maybe above zero or not. We're not exactly sure. We're going to find out. 14-period slow stochastic oscillator is improving. At some point it was oversold. Momentum is also flat. MACD is above the signal line, yes, and it says here ASTI appears to be consolidating within a longer term uptrend. Okay, is it consolidating? I believe we can see it's above the 200 all of its short-term trend lines. Yes, yeah, it is above them, all of them. Okay, even though for some time before this 14% extension, it was already extending already, so okay, so the average directional index is below 20, indicating that shares have traded sideways recently. However, the 200-day is still sloping bullishly upwards. Comparative relative strength analysis shows that this issue is lagging the S&P 500. Momentum for Ascent Solar is strongly bullish. The 14-period slow stochastic oscillator is rising as investors pay high prices for shares. The volume for that session was larger than usual, trading 59.049 million shares versus an average of 94.89 million shares per day during the last 12 months. The unbalanced volume indicator is bearish, alright. The slope of the indicator is negative and suggests that there is a lack of buying interest. The 10-day volume is the 10-day volume, or rather the 10-day average volume is 37.688 million shares. So even though that volume is lighter than the regular 12-month volume, it's also heavier than the 10-day average. So what we can deduce here is that the two oscillators here, the unbalanced volume indicator and the 14-period slow stochastic oscillator, are not in unison. That the OBV is indicating that there is a lack of buying interest, and the 14-period slow stochastic oscillator is indicating that people are buying more shares at higher prices. And I think, yes, it's absolutely to a great extent true. People are indeed buying more shares, but their interest is not as it was before. That is very much the case, I believe. So all in all, it has run up an extension of more than even 14% during the last two sessions, because we can see it closed at 14.35, but also the session before that, which was the one that ended on the 14th, it was also extended. It's extended from 0.021 to 0.022. So but in any case, though, going by all of this, I also think as well that the volume is actually higher than, even forget about the 12-day, I would rather refer to the 10-day. So I think the volume is also actually higher than what the 10-day average is. So there's a good chance that you have to the extension may not completely continue. Exactly, there's a good chance the consolidation may continue, but all in all I can say is that even though it is just slightly above its short-term trend lines and also still below its 50-day trend line, which may to some extent or by certain standards considered its bottom, it's still it has just run up 2 straight days of extension. So I would really urge caution, if you want to get involved with Ascent Solar. So thank you very much for watching this video.